2020 was a tough year for a lot of people. After the initial shock and realization of what was going on in our world, ProAct was in a unique position to pivot. We were all at home dealing with the shock of what to do next, like most businesses and organizations. A quote by Maxwell Maltz states, "Close scrutiny will show that most crisis situations are opportunities to either advance or stay where you are." So we took on the challenge and found that this year helped us realize the mission that we had been living all along: to stand in the gap for vulnerable populations while empowering youth to actively transform their communities. So how did we stand in the gap this year? Well, we saw a need, a gap if you will, between food pantries in the city and those who could not drive or were compromised and didn't need to be out. So we repurposed an IT ticketing system where anyone could enter a ticket to state their needs, whether it be food, toiletries, or cleaning supplies. We launched the Stand in the Gap initiative in response to COVID-19. We were able to connect the needs of those who placed tickets to the pantries with the food, to those who wanted to serve in a no-contact volunteer opportunity. That's right, our volunteers came in masks and gloves, and if they didn't have any, we provided them. They came to set locations around the city, drove up, loaded up their trucks, and then went on routes, dropping food at doorsteps. So we did porch pickups from those with the means and resources to provide groceries and other items for vulnerable populations. This response to a food insecurity crisis led us right into our truest mission and allowed us to see that this 28-passenger bus that we owned could be repurposed to meet a community need. Therefore, we created a mobile food pantry. We saw a need for students to still participate in service work and, more importantly, build relationships together. We continued our summer camp, our youth empowerment camp.
"2020 has been a lot of work because I lost both my parents. But I think when I went to the camp, it showed me a lot about how I should help more people and give."
2020 is, trying to find our way through that. It was in 2019, he lost his mom, and it was a horrific time for us, and we're still trying to get through it with a lot of resources in the community.
You should, because if you're going through something, you would like to see other people smile, not just yourself.
It was very refreshing to see young adults and younger people be involved with the youth, because we do have to reach back. It takes a village, and letting him know that you don't do anything alone. And I believe in that wholeheartedly. So I think him experiencing that has really helped him and not make him feel like he's alone against the world. Because when you get into that kind of, bottled up feelings, then you can get some negative aspects out of that. So we really don't want him to, get caught up there. So I think that it's been really, really good, I've seen, for him.
We also launched our Proactive Communities model. You might be wondering, what is it that ProAct actually does? Well, in our opinion, the problem is nearly 25% of youth in Indianapolis are homeless or impoverished. And many nonprofits, businesses, schools, and even churches are all trying to fix this and other societal issues individually. We believe that the solution is finding the gaps that would connect and synergize their efforts, standing in them, and creating a supportive, proactive community where all youth thrive. Not too long ago, we discovered that our youth are not the only beneficiaries of our programs and services. They are the givers and creators of service, yes, but we also serve vulnerable populations, nonprofits and their leaders, and businesses and their employees. It is the relationships with each of you that make up our communities that help our youth thrive.
I continue to work with ProAct at Shepherd Community because we have a good partnership relationship. I appreciate ProAct not only for what they do and for their work, but I also appreciate the other small things that they have that really are helpful tools for us at Shepherd. We've just recently begun to use the volunteer data management system that they've incorporated and built, and it's been a huge help in tracking volunteers and just helping them become engaged. Another reason that I really enjoy working with ProAct is that they have a special person we call her a CIC, and for Shepherd her name is Selena, and she works as a person who just comes alongside me at Shepherd. She helps me learn the program, the new data management program. She comes to our volunteers events and is active with our volunteers in engaging them and getting to know them, and also telling them about ProAct and what they do. I really feel like through all of that, the thing I like about ProAct is that we, along with Shepherd Community, can combine our thoughts, our ideas, and just work together to promote unity and also to make a big difference. You know, it really takes more than one organization, one mind, one person to come together and think and make a difference, and that's what ProAct has done for Shepherd.
Darren and I met a while back playing football at Wabash College together. We recently and thankfully reconnected and excited to find that both of our organizations are serving youth in our communities and even at some of the same partner schools in the Indianapolis area. At Kids Count Therapy, we're always looking to make an impact outside of the therapy room and get into the fabric and dive deep into our local communities to make a positive impact.
Shepherd Community Center is one of our community partners, and Kids Count Therapy is one of our corporate partners. We connect all these parts of our communities to make a true, long-lasting difference, a proactive community. We hired 5 new employees this year who are called Community Impact Concierges, or CICs. They are the connection between our corporate, community, and school partners. Our CICs are the difference between idealizing the different dots coming together on a map and realizing those actual connections. They connect everyone through training workshops and consistent service opportunities. Each CIC also must complete a legacy project, which is a way for them to create sustainable services to our community and live out their personal passions.
I think what you need to know about ProAct is that it's going to continue growing, and I think that especially with the legacy projects, not only with the different CICs, but with the community, that Indianapolis is going to really bloom, and thanks to ProAct, and I'm really excited to see it. So,
I've definitely noticed a change in my personal ability when it comes to managing my time and my schedule with ProAct. That's been, I would say, the biggest victory for me.
I am excited to just continue learning and continue seeing how ProAct finds new ways to support our community.
I think people should support or volunteer with ProAct because we really go deep with people. That's what we're all about here.
So not only have I had a lot of defining moments with those I've been serving, like the youth, but I've also had a few behind the scenes with one of my coworkers who have stood in the gap for me when I was having a really rough time at home. She really stood up and took charge and continued our work with our proactive community and ensuring that everyone will have a positive impact.
We can't predict what the year 2021 will look like, but if this year is any indication of how we will respond, we will do so with efficiency, grace, intention, and great effort. Friends, we are motivated and ready to keep moving on into 2021 and beyond. What's next? We hope to launch 3 proactive communities this next year, which means that we will impact over 2,000 boys and girls within at least 3 new schools. We hope to address food insecurity in Marion County with our mobile food pantry. We hope to reach new supporters and advocates of our mission with our weekly column in the Indianapolis Recorder newspaper. And for those of you who prefer to listen, you can tune in to our new podcast called Stood in the Gap, which shares the stories of esteemed leaders in our community and in our city, and those who stood in the gap for them in their darkest moments. To close the gap means taking a look at the work we have done all year standing in the gaps. It means continuing to make them smaller, essentially celebrating our impact. We need your help. We need you to help us continue to close these gaps. We need your time, your talent, and your treasure. Get involved in a proactive community. And as I always say, programs don't change people. People change people. Simply, that means we need you to build trust by risking yourself.